It's the Wait a Minute Show.
Bruh. Ain't that right, Lopan? Wait a minute. Book it. Really? Really?
The Wait a Minute Show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is your man, Jelani J.B. Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, and it is going down again, and I'll tell you about this hoodie in just a moment, but more importantly, I'm back, I'm in the mix, and I am ready to talk about some sports this weekend. Boy, oh boy. And actually, you know, we're kind of covering some stuff that just recently happened as well, because I think it's important, you know, that we talk about it. So we will get into that and you see the title of the show, Michigan beats Ohio State. So, you know, your man from FLINT from Michigan. So, you know, I'm ecstatic about that. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. But we got other stuff that's on here. Our 3-pack NFL games. We'll talk about some questions about some teams in the NFL. Coach Prime. Receiving offers. We'll get into that. And pretty soon, somebody's going to be back in the NFL. And because I'm feeling a little froggy, I might throw a Big L award out there. But before I do all that, I got to introduce my not so humble co-host, but everyone give it up for Lopan.
Indeed.
Yes, so Lopan is in the building. He's ready to talk some sports just like I am. But before I do all that, let me just go ahead and hit you up right now, because I told you it's the month of November, the end of the month, and we're going to early December, so you're going to hear this message a lot, but it is the Wait a Minute Show toy drive is in full effect, ladies and gentlemen. It's been in full effect for an entire week. We're already receiving donations. We need more donations so we can help out more kids. That's it. I need more donations to help more kids. And the easiest way to do it, just go to thewaitaminuteshow.com. That is thewaitaminuteshow.com. And you can choose whatever option that you want. You have PayPal, you have Cash App, and you have GoFundMe that you can choose from. So real easy to do. We go out there and we sponsor some kids out there. The other thing that I want to announce, I told you guys, like, hey, I had something that I was going to be talking about. It is in the works, right? It is in the works. Everything's done. We're just waiting for the final version, right? So it should be out sooner than later. But ladies and gentlemen, the Wait a Minute Show toy drive, the documentary is coming out. Yes, the documentary is coming out soon. I'll get a release date for you, and I'll actually put it here so you can watch it as well. But if you follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, TikTok, if you're on there. But I'm going to put out the documentary for everyone, basically, because it's been 10 years of the Wait a Minute Show toy drive, and we talk about how all this stuff began, how we did it. We go back, we talk to some people that, you know, are involved in everything. You get, you know, my mindset on it. So the Wait a Minute Show toy drive, the documentary is coming out. So all that stuff that we said, let's go ahead and get really to talk about why you're here. That is about sports. Yep. And let's start it with, I got this Bedrock shirt on, Flint Town, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not quite maize and blue, but it is close enough. And even, you know, the background is close enough. But my Michigan Wolverines, the number 3 ranked Michigan Wolverines, took down, let me make sure I get the score right, took down the Ohio State Buckeyes 45-23, ladies and gentlemen, which was a really great game, obviously, for your boy. But it was a really good game that went on overall. And this was a very interesting game because I was worried about how Michigan was going to respond. I did not think, and I was correct, I did not think they were going to have Blake Corum for the entire game. He only played 2 snaps. You could see he was injured and he wasn't going to be able to help the team, so he had to take a seat. But this kid, Edwards, stepped in, and boy, did he step in the second half. But what I was thinking that the Michigan Wolverines was really going to have to do on this, I thought J.J. McCarthy was going to have to use his legs more and be more of a threat. That way he did use his legs, but boy, to my surprise, he stepped up in the passing game, right? And to this kid Johnson, Cornelius Johnson, he hit him for a 75-yard touchdown and a 69-yard touchdown pass. So Michigan won on the big plays. They were in it going into halftime. They kept it close. That was what I was worried about, and what Michigan needed to do to win this game is to keep it close. But coming out in the second half, they made the adjustments, and they made Ohio State pay for mistakes that they made in those games. And so Ohio State, yeah, I'm happy they lost. Okay, let's get that out the way. All right. Am I biased? Yes, I am. But I was surprised because I thought Marvin Harrison Jr. would probably have a little bit more of an effect on the game. He didn't have as much as I thought. He did at the beginning, but props to Michigan for turning that around in the defense, because that's what we was worried about. J.J. McCarthy talked about this defense being or the team overall being better than what they were last year. And I was like, wow, those are some big shoes to fill, but they did. And Ohio State, they were dealing with their own injuries. They didn't have their whole running back crew. They didn't have their whole running back tandem, if you will. But C.J. Stroud they played better than what they played last year. But the only thing is that they played for the first half. Second half, it was totally different. I think they only had like 19 yards rushing. So they started out strong. They started out competitive. They were at home. They had the home field advantage. They had the crowd there. But I just really think the big plays, as far as like that Michigan hit, really put a sour taste in Ohio State's mouth, and they couldn't respond, or they couldn't come back, from those big plays. There was a lot of big plays that came in on that. So. And they had to overcome that. Then that Michigan defense started catching up. But it was a really, really entertaining game. I'm glad it played out the way that it did. Again, hey, go blue. So what does this mean now for both of the teams? So obviously Michigan's going to go to the Big Ten championship game. They're going to move up to the number 2 spot. I don't see them taking over Georgia at this point. But they're going to go to the Big Ten championship game. They're going to move up to the number 2 spot. They need to win this game. It's either Purdue or Iowa that they're going to see. We'll find out a little bit later, because there's games that still need to be played. But Michigan doesn't need that to be a trap game where they lose that game. They need to go in there, dominate, and get in and get out and get ready for the playoffs. Now, for Ohio State, this is the big question right now, because while we're doing this show, TCU is playing right now, and they are pretty much in control of Iowa State. So I think they could possibly, I think Ohio State falls no lower than 5, right? So you got Georgia at 1, Michigan at 2, TCU will move up to 3, and well, you got USC. That's Does Ohio State, and I do think Ohio State will drop down to 5. I don't think they're going to go any lower. So what's that? Georgia 1, Michigan 2, TCU 3, and yeah, so that would move up USC to 4 if my calculations are right. Indeed. Thank you, Lopez. So they're going to be right there on the outside, of that. There's still some things that could happen, maybe that they could, get in, but I doubt that they'll probably fall into that 4th spot. So they're going to play a bowl game. They're going to play a big bowl game, but this is the second year for Ohio State losing this game. So now they're really going to have to go back to the board and try and figure this thing out. But Ohio State is still, they're still straight. They're still, in a good place. It's not like the program is falling apart, right? So go blue. Michigan. Woo! That made my Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's move on from there and let's get into some NFL talk and Deshaun Watson. Yes, Deshaun Watson is going to be back sooner than later at this point. He came back week 11 where he could practice with the team. Now, the Cleveland Browns got one more game. They're going to play against the Tampa Bay Bucks in week 12. And then week 13, he's eligible to play. He can play. They're playing the Houston Texans. So what does this mean overall for everyone, that's involved? I think for Deshaun Watson, the biggest thing is that he gets to come into a game. The Texans aren't doing as well. They got a new quarterback that's going to be playing. I assume so, because Kyle Allen's supposed to start this week, and I assume he'll at least get, a second start unless something just, go haywire. But Houston Texans has been a struggling team. This is a team that you would probably want Deshaun Watson to play against just to get his feet underneath him, just to get, some football, some new football experience brought in. Now, does this mean that him being there, that they're going to, make this run to the playoffs or anything like that? Nope. I still think Cleveland lost too many games. There was a couple games that they needed to win. Had they won those games, they probably would have been able to really think about playoffs. But I do think that when he comes back going forward, this is getting chemistry with Amari Cooper, which has been doing, his thing, involving a second wide receiver, maybe Donovan Peoples-Jones or whoever, as a consistency, there. Obviously, that's going to be an upgrade or elevation from Jacoby Brissett. No knock on him, but look, you gave, Deshaun all this money. So, yeah, he's going to be expected to do more. I think this opens up the spectrum for Nick Chubb as well. Nick Chubb has been doing an excellent job at the running back position, but I do think this will incorporate Kareem Hunt probably a little bit more. They didn't trade him. I don't know why they're not just really using him. Maybe I'm missing something. Is Kareem Hunt injured or something like that? But I do think, Deshaun will open that offense up for more of what they want to do with, Kevin Stefanski going down the field, which opens up everything. Now, I guess the biggest thing is that when he starts going on the road, because at home, yeah, he'll hear a little bit of it, but I don't think he's going to hear anything until he goes on the road. So if he goes on the road, it's just like, how is he dealing with everything that has transpired? Because people are going to boo him. The fans are going to boo him. They're going to let him, hear about it. And I do believe that he'll still probably have to talk about it at some point in a press conference. So dealing with that, how is that really going to, affect what's going on in the future with Deshaun Watson? But it's almost here. We're going to be talking about even more. We'll critique, him coming back and everything going forward. But Deshaun Watson, sooner than later, ladies and gentlemen. And also, what's sooner than later is a break. So we're going to go to a break, and then when we come back, week 12 of the NFL. Time to talk about my 3-pack. 3 games that got me interested, that should have you interested as well. We'll talk about that and more when we get back. It's the Wait a Minute show. I told you that wasn't going to work, me saying it like that, Lopan. So I'm going to stop listening to him. We'll be back after the break.
Do you want your next Atlanta event to be memorable? If so, have Drink and Color at your next function. Drink and Color is sophisticated bartending that creates signature cocktails for your special occasion. Wow your family, friends, and business associates next time with Drink and Color. You can contact the owner, Kiki Lewis, at 678-813-7102. That's 678-813-7102. You can also email her at drinkandcolor@gmail.com and follow on Instagram at drinkandcolor. And tell her you were referred by the Wait a Minute show. Drink and Color, cocktail catering. Let the cocktail sparkle at your next event.
Do you like making an impression? Who doesn't? Well, when you want to dress to impress for less, check out Rail Scott at Prime Ties to Go on Facebook and Instagram. Quality accessories for men and women at low, counted low prices. Everything from ties, bow ties, watches, bracelet, earrings to pocketbooks. Don't miss out Check out Rail Scott the owner at Prime Ties to Go. That's Prime Ties, the number 2, Go, on Facebook and Instagram.
In these times and days, car prices are through the roof. Want to know how to beat the dealerships? Preserve that car of yours by visiting Melvin of Bay 11 Auto. Melvin is honest, dependable, and the all-important affordable. Got a domestic car? Come and see Melvin. Got a foreign car? Come and see Melvin. Don't know what kind of car you have? No problem. Come and see Melvin. Call Bay 11 Auto in Conyers, Georgia at 404-295-5715. Again, that's Melvin of Bay 11 Auto, Conyers, Georgia, 404-295-5715.
Breathe it in, ladies and gentlemen. The life, the joy, the Wait-A-Minute Toy Drive has officially begun. It is a great morning. Good morning, my neighbors!
Hey, freak you!
Yes, freak you too!
Oh, Nelly, ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
It's the Wait a Minute Show.
Yeah, here on the YouTube channel. So make sure, if you haven't already, man, go to the YouTube channel that you're watching right now and turn on the notifications and make sure you subscribe so then you get notified. And go ahead and hit that like button as well. So you saw that. You saw Prince Akeem, ladies and gentlemen, talking about the Wait a Minute Show toy drive. So, like you said, easy. Go to the waitaminuteshow.com, man. And all you got to do is when you go in there, you'll see the options for PayPal, Cash App, or the GoFundMe. Make a donation, man. Make a donation. More donations I get, the more kids I can help. More kids I can sponsor, right? So you see the ticker that's going on right down there, right? You see the ticker. It is the Wait a Minute Show 3-pack, right? So we're going to be talking about 3 games that should be interesting coming up for week 12. Now, we had, 3 games over Gobble Gobble Day, and hopefully everybody had a good Thursday and a safe Thursday and, Friday as well. You didn't have to, throw them hands with nobody. For some of these sales that's out there. And they do a lot of them online. So, and that upsets Lopez because he used to like, getting in the fisticuffs with people out in the public. Indeed. Something's wrong with him. But these are, the games that I'm going to be talking about. So it's not, as many games. But let's start with the first one. And that is the Chicago Bears versus the New York Jets. I know that's, you kind of like, maybe what? Yeah. Well, here's the reason why. Right? Justin Fields, he's been injured, and it has shown, and he's trying to get through that injury and play through that injury. But more I want to see is Mike White, right? So the New York Jets have said, hey, Zach, take a seat. You go ahead, sit in class at Bayside. We're going to go ahead and go with Mike White, on this. Was it Mike White or Mike Hall? Mike White, yeah. But they're going to go with a new quarterback. So I'm interested in seeing how the New York Jets offense is going to function with another quarterback under the helm. Because Breece Hall is not there anymore. That was a big help, to the quarterback. When he went down, a lot more went on the quarterback, and it hasn't happened. And we saw this last game against New England. It was just like, we can't be having only 3 points. And we hold the team to 3 until our special teams gave up a touchdown, which is, 10. So it's still special teams and defense still held the New England Patriots to 10 points. And you only scored 3. So I want to see what this offense looked like because they started off well. Then we start putting some expectations, on the New York Jets. So Chicago versus New York, the New York Jets, Jets. That's one I'm going to be interested in. Another one is Cincinnati versus Tennessee, right? These teams winning records, and we thought Jamar Chase was going to be back, for the Cincinnati Bengals, but he's out. But also who's out is Joe Mixon. So how is the Cincinnati Bengals going to operate? How are they going to function without their top running back and without their top wide receiver? This puts a lot more pressure, on Joe Burrow. T. Higgins stepped up, last week, but they're going to need, some stuff from Tyler Boyd as well. Hayden Hurst, also. So how is this matchup, or how is this going to fare against the Tennessee Titans team? Look, we know Derrick Henry's going to get his, or Derrick Henry's going to be the focal point. But Ryan Tannehill came back, didn't look too bad. Definitely had better numbers, better, performance, and I guess allowed them maybe to do a little bit more than what they had with Malik Willis, which I was surprised, because it was just like I was expecting more production out of Malik Willis, but that's for another day to talk about what happened with that. But with Ryan Tannehill back there, it just opens up kind of what what Tennessee can kind of do again. They unleashed that defense on the Cincinnati Bengals. Can Samaje Perine be a factor like he was last week? He was a big factor in the passing game, but they're going to need him in the running game. So I think, these two teams with winning records in the AFC, and they're in division battles as well, it's going to be really interesting. So I think that's the game that you should watch. Cincinnati versus Tennessee. Now, my last one for the 3-pack, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Arizona Cardinals, right? Now, it would have been the Rams versus the Chiefs, but Matthew Stafford is not playing. So that plays a part in why I didn't, choose that game. But this is an interesting game as well. Mike Williams, if I remember correctly, is out of this game. So Jordan Palmer, who has done really good, Josh Palmer, who has done really good on this team, he's going to be asked to step up again. Can the Los Angeles Chargers offense, can they produce enough offense, to get the W? They had a game against, KC. Justin Herbert, we already know, throwing the ball all over the place and all that stuff. Keenan Allen is back. He was back last week, so now he got a week, underneath his belt, so he'll have another week to improve upon what he did. I think that's going to be interesting, but both of these teams needs to win. That's the biggest reason I say watch this game, because Arizona, Kyler Murray is back. DeAndre Hopkins is there, and it was just announced that Hollywood Brown is coming back too. So I think this is the first week. Yeah, this actually is the first week where all three of them are going to play, and then you got James Conner as well. So we get to see the actual Arizona Cardinals as far as like the offense, and they don't have Zach Ertz. That's the one thing that is missing with his knee injury. But you get to see this offensive, weapon that you originally made, and this is. It's not make or break, but it's definitely a urgency. And when I say make or break, I'm talking about, jobs on the line and everything. You got to win. You need to win more than anything. But this could be, a point where, because I talked about Cliff Kingsbury being on the hot seat. This could be where you could turn that around, because I still believe that Cliff Kingsbury got to get into the playoffs and got to win, a playoff game. For everyone to just not question him this year, and he go into next year, still the coach of the Arizona Cardinals. But both of these teams need to win, and you're getting guys back on the Arizona Cardinals. So that's going to be an interesting, matchup. So those are my 3-pack picks that you should be watching: Chicago versus the Jets, Cincinnati versus Tennessee, and Arizona versus the Los Angeles Chargers, right? So let's go ahead and get off the 3-packs, Lopan. Move me to the next screen, Lopan. Thank you. This guy. But last Thursday, right? This past Thursday, gobble day. We had 3 games. 2 of those were the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants, and the New England Patriots versus the Minnesota Vikings, which the Cowboys and the Vikings won, right? And Vikings look really good, especially coming off that beatdown that they got from the from the Dallas Cowboys, and the Cowboys look like they are just gaining steam, especially with this recruitment of Odell Beckham. If they can get Odell Beckham, so it begs the question for both of these teams: Are they prime? Are both of them prime for a Super Bowl run? Dare I say a Super Bowl run? The Vikings and the Cowboys, right? I'm still thinking about this. And with the let me start with the Vikings, right? In the matter of how the Vikings have been winning. Don't get me wrong. A W is a W because it's so hard to win in the NFL in general, right? So it's already hard enough to win in general in the NFL. So you get a W any way that you can. But these close wins, I do think it helps the Vikings going in to a situation where maybe they're really being challenged or they're really up against it, and they can reflect and go back to say, hey, remember we played this team, remember we played that team, we've been here before. So it's something to be said about we've been here before. And the way Justin Jefferson has been playing these last 2 weeks, if they get Justin Jefferson to play he's been playing phenomenally for the whole season, but he took it up a notch to these past 2 weeks. So if he continues to play like this and he's in a zone, yeah, they could make a run. Because I remember another wide receiver who went into the playoffs and he was just on fire and nobody could stop him. And that person was Larry Fitzgerald. They went all the way to the Super Bowl. And actually, had it not just been an amazing Super Bowl and the Pittsburgh Steelers making amazing plays, Cardinals probably would have been the Super Bowl champs that year. And Larry Fitzgerald would have been, the prime reason, why that happened. So that's how big of an impact that Justin Jefferson is having on his team. He has that. Then that opens it up for Dalvin Cook. That takes pressure, off of Kirk Cousins as well. So I do think the Vikings, they could go on a Super Bowl run. Cowboys, I said the Eagles were going to win this division at the beginning of the season or before the season started. I still do, believe that, but it doesn't matter. All you got to do is you got to make the playoffs. So they played the Eagles already. But that was without Dak Prescott, so I do think things will be different with Dak there. And I do think the Cowboys could also make a run. I think they need to, and they kind of have, but I think they need to kind of change it and let Tony Pollard continue to be the primary weapon when it comes to rushing the ball. Still incorporate Zeke, let him get some touches and everything, but it doesn't have to be, the Zeke show. If they get Odell Beckham, then this really changes, the dynamic of this team. They already have an excellent defense and a defense that is very, very scary, to play. So that's a nice combination where if you have a defense, you have a nice running game, and then you have a complementary offense, and that's going to help someone like CeeDee Lamb as well if Odell Beckham, comes there. He doesn't take away all the attention, but he helps take away some of the attention for this team. So at the end of the day, I do think both of these teams could go on Super Bowl runs. Now there's still other teams in the NFC that got something to say about that. But are they capable? Are they setting their fans up for a letdown? No. I think they're setting their fans up for some high expectations and to go in it with realistic expectations as well. So I do think Cowboys, Vikings. Isn't that crazy, right? Crazy. No, it's not that crazy, right? So what's also not crazy is these breaks that we take, which we're going to take another one. And when we come back, I'm going to go a little bias, okay? Yeah, I'm going to get a little bias. Just a tad. It's all right. It's my show. I can do that. I'll tell you about it when we come back. So, Lopan, this time, try to get to the break a little bit sooner than you did, with y'all know. He been acting all funky all week ever since he ate that turkey. But it's okay. We'll be back
you want your next Atlanta event to be memorable? If so, have Drinking Color at your next function. Drinking Color is sophisticated bartending that creates signature cocktails for your special occasion. Wow your family, friends, and business associates next time with Drinking Color. You can contact the owner, Kiki Lewis, at 678-813-7102. That's 678-813-7102. You can also email her at drinkandcolor@gmail.com and follow on Instagram at drinkandcolor. And tell her you were referred by the Wait a Minute Show. Drink and Color, cocktail catering. Let the cocktail sparkle at your next event.
Do you like making an impression? Who doesn't? Well, when you want to dress to impress for less, check out Rail Scott at Prime Ties to Go on Facebook and Instagram. Quality accessories for men and women at low, counted low prices. Everything from ties, bow ties, watches, bracelet, earrings to pocketbooks. Don't miss out. Check out Rail Scott, the owner, at Prime Ties to Go. That's Prime Ties, the number 2, Go, on Facebook and Instagram.
In these times and days, car prices are through the roof. Want to know how to beat the dealerships? Preserve that car of yours by visiting Melvin of Bay 11 Auto. Melvin is honest, dependable, and all-important affordable. Got a domestic car? Come and see Melvin. Got a foreign car? Come and see Melvin. Don't know what kind of car you have? No problem. Come and see Melvin. Call Bay 11 Auto in Conyers, Georgia at 404-295-5715. Again, that's Melvin of Bay 11 Auto, Conyers, Georgia, 404-295-5715.
What do we have here? Looks like we got ourselves a toy drive. Yeah! The Wait a Minute Show toy drive going on from November 18th to December 17th. Yeah, it's real easy to do. Just go to the waitaminuteshow.com and you got your choices between PayPal, Cash App, or the GoFundMe. Yeah, it doesn't matter the donation. $1, $2, $5, it all adds up. So go to the waitaminuteshow.com. Ooh, yeah! Dig it!
So, ladies and gentlemen, Brother Macho, talking about the Wait a Minute Show toy drive as well. So, waitaminuteshow.com, man. Check it out. So, check this out, right? Coach Prime, right? Deion Sanders, ladies and gentlemen. Deion Sanders is back in the news, and we knew this was coming. I mean, it started last season, but definitely this season. Jackson State finished 11-0 in the SWAC. So Deion Sanders is getting inquiries as far as like coaching other teams. So it's a report that he's been offered the Colorado job at this point. And Colorado was a school that was mentioned before for Deion Sanders. In his 60-minute interview, he did say he would entertain Power 5 schools. Anybody who came wanting to talk to him, he said he would be crazy if he didn't, which I agree. It's something that you have to check, you have to check into, you have to check out. And here's why. I know, some people, let me go there. Should he leave or should he not leave? Right? If the situation is right, and of course he knows that, if the situation is right, then yeah, leave, right? If it's right, leave. Because here's the thing. I understand what he's done at Jackson State. It is remarkable, and it is in which how fast it happened, right? And so kudos to that. Kudos for bringing, recruits, but also a light to HBCU schools just in general. And he's done that. But coaches are coaches. If you're a coach, you want to try and coach on the highest of the highest levels, right? Now Deion, and I'm not talking about the NFL because Deion already said he's not going to coach in the NFL because if he did, he'd end up fighting half the team because they're not going to have the same work ethic that that he would have, and he would have a problem with that. So college is where it's at. So I'm not saying every coach, but a lot of coaches, yeah, they do want to coach in a Power Five conference. They do want to coach at one of the big schools. They do, want to make an impact there. And there's, I'm sure there's other things that Deion Sanders is thinking about as far as like what he could do and how he can change, the environment there and what, and what goes on. So he's put together a great foundation at Jackson State. If he doesn't leave, hooray. Jackson State get to keep him for another year. He keeps doing, what he does. If he does leave, then it's like, okay, I understand. You got some other work that you feel that you gotta accomplish, on it. So Colorado was one, I think, what is it? Central Florida, I think, might have been another team. And there'll probably be some other teams out there. There's probably some other teams that's behind the scenes as well that don't want to put their name, out there. But it's going to happen. That's what I will say. At some point, it will happen, and he'll be somewhere else. And it's just more of, I hope he can continue, what he's doing, and he brings, light to it, and he adds more and more value, and the right value, which he's been doing, at the right value to college football. So, props to Deion Sanders, man. Make it, I'm not gonna be mad one way or the other. Make whatever decision you feel is the best move to be made, and I think he'll do that. So I'm gonna end this. I started off a little biased, right? I'm going to end this thing a little biased. And what I mean by that is that I'm going to talk about my Detroit Lions. So, my Detroit Lions, this gobble day, lost a tough one, right? Played the Buffalo Bills really well. But we made some mistakes. Buffalo made us pay. So, we lost by 3 points. Sounds familiar. Losing by a few points. We lost to the Eagles by 3 points, all that stuff. But the reason I bring up the Lions is that, hey, is this the same old Lions? Or is this maybe a different line? Because a lot of people that don't see the Lions play got to see on national television like, this team ain't bad. Some of these guys, I don't know who they are, but they not too bad, Got to find out who Amon St. Brown is. Amon, let me say it correctly. St. Brown is. People knew about Jared Goff, but I'm going to say that this has been an interesting season for my Detroit Lions, and here's why, right? Their record doesn't reflect it, but I do think that they've had a pretty challenging schedule, maybe unbeknownst to them, because 9 of the 11 teams that they have played have winning records. I want to say 8 of those 9 teams are currently in the playoffs right now. I don't have, do I have, no, I don't. I didn't write it down, but look, they played New England, they've played Minnesota, they've played Philadelphia, they've played Miami, they just played Buffalo. Those are 5 teams that I can just, Dallas, they played Dallas, that's 6, right there that I can think of off the top of my head. And so they have played a lot of these teams closely. There's only 2 games that they have not, the New England game, they got blown out. It happens. And then they had another game that they lost. But a lot of these games, they've been close games, either 3 points, 6 points, 7 points, or something like that on it. So, and they beat the Giants. That's who they played. They beat the Giants, which is also a playoff team. So yeah, I'm gonna tell everybody right now. Yeah, I'm gonna go on here and it'll probably be recorded. If I'm wrong, I'll get blasted, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm not scared. But my Detroit Lions are coming. Yeah, these not the same old Lions, ladies and gentlemen, right? So we got some pieces that's involved. I do think the Lions will probably find themselves another quarterback. Jared Goff, hey, I'm not mad with Jared Goff, but I do think they're going to try and find themselves a younger quarterback. You got Jamison Williams that's going to be coming back. He's going to be back off of IR, so he'll probably get some playing time this year. Pair him with St. Brown. Pair him with DJ Chark. Pair him with Swift. Pair him with Jamal Williams. And if we can get Jamal Williams just to stop with that little twitch, like just north and south, get upfield. Don't do that. Get upfield. It'll be a tremendous difference. But I do think the Lions are turning things around. I thought they were doing it last year because they lost a lot of close games. But as crazy as it sounds, I think they've gotten better than what they previously were. Washington, that's the other team. Washington got a winning record, and they beat the Commanders. So they're just coming to me as I'm talking, right? So yeah, my Detroit Lions, they boy, I hope I'm right. Boy, do I hope I am right, ladies and gentlemen. I hope. So, Lopan, should I do a Big L award?
Indeed.
Of course you would say that. Of course you would say that. I really don't have anything. Maybe I can think of something. Oh, I know. I'll do this. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big L Award.
And you are one pathetic loser.
Loser.
Let's go.
We're gonna see the best collection of losers this park seen for many a year.
You made me feel like a loser. Loser.
La loser.
Le who? The her.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to hand out a Big L award, right? I'm just going to hand out a nice Big L award. And it's kind of like a post Big L award, right? And maybe I'm a bad influence on my kid, but whatever. Hey, I've been talking about people being disrespectful to Gobble Gobble Day, right? Who's being disrespectful to Gobble Gobble Day? There's all these people that be having up Christmas stuff right after Halloween. I'm like, come on, man. Take a break. Take a break. You got, after Gobble Gobble Day, you literally have an entire month. It's not like Christmas is next week. We know that because the Wait a Minute Show toy drive is going to December 17th. So there's time. Yeah, shameless plug. But people just like, hey, I got to get my lights up. I got to go ahead and throw up, little air people and all that stuff. And your electric bill just ridiculous for about 2 to 3 months, because if you got it up after Halloween, you're probably going to have it up after New Year's. It's probably Valentine's Day before you take it down, right? You're just doing too much too early. Slow it down. I just diss you I just, because Consequence said that. But, Conceit, whatever his name is. But, too much, too early, right? Too early. So I'm going to catch you a little bit on the late side, but it doesn't matter. So for all those people that was out there with their Christmas stuff up right after Halloween, you ain't even finished chewing up all your Halloween candy, you got to take this Big L.
Ah, see? Another loser.
Indeed.
Indeed as well, Lopan. Come on. Halloween, the Halloween. Gobble, gobble, the gobble, gobble. And then you can fa la 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 la, la la la, the la 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 la. There's seasons to this. There's stages to this. There's a process to this. Stop jumping the gun, ladies and gentlemen. Stop being disrespectful.
Respectful.
All right, that's it. That's it. So we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the show. Make sure you remember the Wait a Minute Show toy drive is going on. It's going on till December 17th, man. So you still got time. I'm telling you, you heard Brother Macho. $1, $2, $5. It all adds up. It doesn't matter. The more donations, the more children. Remember that. The more donations, the more children. The more shares. Share it. If you're not interested, that's fine. That's fine, because you're probably doing something else, and I appreciate that. Share it out there. The more donations, the more children that we can impact. Don't forget that. So I'm going to get out of here. I'll holler at y'all next time, man. We'll do it again. And who knows who will be talking about the Wait a Minute Show toy drive. We'll find out that and more. So for your man, Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called the Wait a Minute Show, I'm going to holler at y'all. Two things as always. Stay positive. You stay positive. And push forward. And I'll holler at you later. Lopan. Let's go, man.